Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Art of Being a Woman. I'm your host, Courtney, and today we are discussing the art of not caring what others think of you. This is a big topic because I believe every single one of us has dealt with this feeling of caring what others think of us, whether we like to admit it or not. I don't think any one of us wants to care what others think of us, but somehow we feel that others are judging us or that they see the bad in us, our negative qualities, and it can make us uncomfortable even without anyone saying a word. And so I want to dive into 4 steps that I came up with that I wrote on my Instagram account. She is Artfully Woman, where I write about a lot of the topics we discuss on the podcast in a written format. And we're going to unpack it together because we can rise above caring what others think of us. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you'll never care what others think of you. I believe that it will arise from time to time because in life we meet new people, and as we grow older, we have new fears and we have new insecurities that surface. And it's nothing to be intimidated by. It's just another opportunity for us to go deeper within ourselves so that we can heal more and grow and expand and become more whole individuals. Many times we walk around thinking we're fully confident and fully self assured, but when we experience moments when we care what others think of us, we realize, oh, there might be some parts of myself that I'm not fully secure in, and that's okay. It's just a matter of what we do about that feeling. Do we feel shame? Do we feel guilt? Do we try to push it away because it's uncomfortable? Or do we decide to look at it head on and really challenge these thoughts and feelings on why we do care what other people think of us? Without further ado, let's get into the 4 steps. We have step 1, you don't know what others are thinking. Step 2, self acceptance makes judgment irrelevant. Step 3, people think mostly of themselves, not you. And step 4, nobody's opinion is greater than your own. Before we dive into the 4 steps, I want to be fully transparent as I aim to be in every episode. I definitely cared what people thought of me my whole life. And even now, there's moments when I care what people think of me, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a stranger on the internet. It happens all the time. And for most of my life, I used to really feel shame and guilt about it. I would get so frustrated with myself. Why couldn't I just be this fully confident person that didn't care about what anyone thought of me? And as I got older, I decided instead of judging myself through these uncomfortable feelings, why not really sit with myself and reflect on what it is that I'm scared of? What if they think something negative about me? So what? By really facing these feelings rather than avoiding them and running away from them, I was able to rise above them. And now, if I ever have an experience where I care what someone thinks about me, I have my own system in place where I ask myself, where am I being judgmental towards myself? Because that's truly the root of all of this, and we're going to get into it. So let's start with step number 1. You don't know what others are thinking. Now, this might seem so obvious, but I promise, in the moments of feeling judged by other people, we can feel so confident that we know what other people are thinking about us. And let's put the strangers category aside. Let's say it's the people we know best, whether it's a romantic partner, a close friend, a family member. We know them very well. We talk to them often. We know their likes, we know their dislikes, and so we believe that we know exactly what they're thinking without them saying a word. The truth is, it is impossible to know what other people are thinking because there is no proof that we're accurate. There's no proof that what we're assuming is true. And It's normal to assume things when we have no answers because as humans, we have a hard time accepting the unknown. The unknown is very scary because it's unpredictable. And so our mind will jump to conclusions to really try to fill in the blanks, and it'll feel safer and it'll have a sense of control. And so when it is filling in these blanks, it will also try to assure you that it's based on logic, and it will pull examples from experiences of your past. Also, many times we project our own fears onto other people. And so we imagine that people are judging us for exactly what it is we're scared to be judged for. Isn't it such a coincidence that we have a fear that someone will think that we're lazy, and we can be talking to a friend and we can have this feeling that they think we're a lazy person. And our brain is not dumb. It will definitely come up with something logical to feed you. And it will say, she has her career figured out and she does a million and one things in one day. Of course, she thinks I'm lazy. But the truth is, if someone did not tell you a judgmental comment to your face, and we are assuming their thoughts are judgmental, it is 100% us projecting our own fears onto them. And so many times when I catch myself going through that scenario where I assume someone might be seeing a negative quality within me, I really take a step back mentally and I ask myself, do you believe these things are true about yourself? And it really is eye opening every time I ask myself those questions. And I'm trying to think of a recent example where I assumed I was being judged. I have an example, but I didn't assume I was being judged by other people specifically. It was just a worry that perhaps I would be judged. Basically, I started a new career as an occupational therapist, and I have done clinical work, so I do have some sort of experience, but to fully start my career as a paid professional, that is completely new to me, or at least it was a few months ago. And so when I began, I was worried that I would come off like a beginner and I would come off like I was inexperienced. And I didn't assume that the other therapist thought this of me. I just put a lot of pressure on myself to not come off as a beginner. And so I purposely did not mention when I graduated, and luckily no one asked me because they truly did not care. But I cared so much, and it was obvious that I was the only one that cared. And once I realized that everyone was super friendly and no one was judging anyone on their circumstances of where they came from, how long they were in the field for, I honestly became more open and transparent. And I told all the therapists on my own that I recently graduated, and honestly, they were surprised and I got positive feedback. But even if I didn't get positive feedback, it's okay. The point is to not care what others think of you. And most of the time, what we assume others might think of us, it's truly what we deep down think about ourselves. And once we uncover that and we heal that within ourselves, we no longer care what others think of us. Step number 2. Self acceptance makes judgment irrelevant. Many times when we care what others think of us, it's because there's parts of us within ourselves that we do not love and we do not accept fully. We might accept parts of it in certain circumstances, but when it's a specific person or a specific setting where we might feel this judgment from other people, that's when we internalize it and we become uncomfortable. And the truth is, when it comes to caring about what others might potentially think of us, is that we only care when it touches on an insecurity. And this can be seen as a negative thing, but I like to look at it in a positive way because many times we all go throughout life not knowing what we're insecure about. There's the insecurities that are very obvious and we think about it more often and we try to work on it within ourselves. But then there's also insecurities that we don't even realize we get so easily triggered by. And it can be as simple as someone thinking we're not hardworking, or someone thinking that we're not a good friend, or we're not a good family member. And we might not know that we are insecure about these things until we start to feel like someone is judging us for this. Because the truth is, if someone is judging us and we know deep down that we are secure in who we are and we are secure in how we carry ourselves, then we wouldn't care whether or not someone agreed with who we are and how we carry ourselves. Also, self acceptance doesn't mean ignoring feedback altogether. It's very healthy for our ego that we receive feedback from other people. So, putting the thoughts of others aside, if someone tells us something to our face and we take it as judgment, before we are quick to dismiss what it is that they're saying about us because it's judgment and because it strikes a nerve or it makes us uncomfortable, it's important that we think about it objectively. Is it possible that we possess that quality from time to time? If not, then we can discard it. And if we're not sure, something that I like to do is I will go speak to people that I trust and I love that know me very well. And I'll say, I recently was told this about myself. Do you agree? Yes or no? Do you think I can be like this from time to time? And you obviously want to go to people that are very honest with you. You don't want to go to people that will sugarcoat things just to make sure that you're happy, because ultimately we only become more confident and more self assured when we are able to handle the truth. And any insecurities we may have, it's okay to have them. The goal is to work on them and to work through them, but we don't have to feel shame or guilt because we still possess insecurities. Of course, we're human and there's always things that we want to work on within ourselves, but we need to be able to own our insecurities. Yeah, there's certain things that I would like to work on, but I'm not going to feel shame and I'm not going to feel guilt about having these things within myself. And if someone wants to harbor on them, that's their choice, but I'm not harboring on them. I'm not going to allow myself to judge myself based on my negative qualities. And many times we focus more on our negative qualities than our positive qualities. And this can be unfortunate because most of us have way more positive qualities than negative qualities. And many times we forget all the positive qualities the moment someone reminds us of a negative quality within ourselves. And even more so, someone doesn't have to tell us about a negative quality. If we feel that someone is thinking something bad about us, it's almost as if all the positive qualities we have go out the window and we just focus on that one negative thought they might have about us, as if that defines our whole entire personality. A tip for this step I learned through experience is really to observe how we judge other people. And this is something that is hard to admit, but I believe we all judge other people, whether we want to admit it or not. And it can be for 1 second, it can even be a celebrity on the internet. But many times it's very easy to see someone do something obviously wrong and obviously negative and to judge for 5 seconds and then we move on with our lives. But the truth is, we don't know them entirely as a person. So to assume that someone is a bad person because they did something bad, or to assume someone is negative because they did one negative thing, or someone is self absorbed because they did one self absorbed thing, we think it's so isolated from the rest of our life, but it ends up trickling into how we think of ourselves. And that is what ends up allowing us to view ourselves in such a narrow mindset. We end up believing that when we do one negative thing, or if we're perceived negatively once, that we become a negative person entirely, or we're afraid we're going to be perceived as a negative person entirely. But the truth is, we only believe that because we do that to other people. And so when I realized that, it was life changing because I can change this. I can change the way I feel about other people. And I realized that I can stop caring what other people think of me when I stop caring so much about what other people do with their own lives. And that really shifted things for me. Step 3, we have people think mostly of themselves, not you. It's true. Everyone is mostly thinking of themselves. We do it all the time. We all have so many things going on from the moment we wake up to the moment we put our head down before we go to sleep. And so, yeah, there's moments here and there where We think about other people that we came across throughout the day and the conversations we have. But mostly, we think about how all the people we've encountered affected us and how it pertains to us, not really overanalyzing other people and their personalities. There can be experiences that we go through in life that left us feeling insecure and embarrassed and shame and guilt, even though they were very typical experiences. Whether you said something that you thought was funny and it wasn't funny and nobody laughed, or you said something and nobody agreed with you, and fill in the blank. But we can replay these memories on a loop and we can judge ourselves for it and we can assume other people are judging us for it. But the truth is, people forget about these situations very quickly if they are not the main character in the situation. Many times we hold on to these uncomfortable memories, not because other people are judging us, but because we have to learn to stop judging ourselves for that experience. So, what if you did something that was not supported by other people? So, what if maybe you were judged 3 months ago, yesterday, this morning? We have to let it go. And the only way to truly let it go is to validate ourselves. We're not going to get validation from the people that did not validate us. And truthfully, we don't want it from them because if we have to rely on other people all the time to tell us that we did a good job and that we're good enough and we're funny enough and we're cool enough and we're smart enough, we're always going to need other people to feel valuable. And we don't need anyone to validate us in order to know that we're valuable. That creates a version of ourselves that is very vulnerable and reliant on being liked by people. And that keeps us very scared to be ourselves. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I feel that when I was young and I was still in my school years, I definitely preferred to blend in with the crowd than to stand out because standing out in school felt like social suicide. But now, as I've gotten older, I realized none of us were put on this planet to be exactly like the other. We all have our own unique purpose and our own unique mission, and it would be a shame and it would be a complete waste of life if we spent our time mimicking someone else. And so don't worry too much about whether you're being accepted by the people around you. You're not meant to be accepted by everyone. You're meant to be yourself, and by being unique and being different, you allow people to experience something new and something that might inspire them to be more uniquely themselves. We might not know that we are ever the cause of anyone being more themselves, but we just have to trust that when we are standing in who we are and we are standing in our truth with confidence and with self assuredness, even with our insecurities and even with our moments of doubt, we inspire other people to do the same. And it creates a beautiful ripple of change in the world. So, just to recap, because I feel like I went off on a little tangent in this step, the harshest judgment we feel from people is truly all coming from inside of us, and we project it on other people. Other people are really not judging us as harshly as we judge ourselves. No one is thinking about something that we did 1 month ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, even if it was the most humiliating moment of your life. No one cares because everyone has their own drama, everyone has their own challenges in life and their own struggles. And the only way we can heal and move on from caring what other people think of us is if we no longer care. Let people think whatever they want about us, but also know that it's not really them that cares, it's us that cares. We truly have been judging ourselves very harshly this whole time. A tip for this step that has really helped me the past couple of years is instead of focusing so heavily on myself and how I'm being perceived by the world around me, I step outside of myself. Not everything is about me. sometimes I make everything about me in my head and I don't even realize it. Does everyone like what I'm wearing? Does everyone think I'm funny? Does everyone think I'm smart? And the truth is, who cares? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Do I think I look good? Do I think I'm smart? Do I think I'm funny? Those are the questions that I should really be asking myself. And on top of that, why not focus on making the people around us happy and having great conversations and trying to be supportive of the people around us? Because we all go through this internally where we have our insecurities and we wonder if people enjoy our company. And so instead of focusing on whether people enjoy our company, let's be more of a giver in these situations and make other people feel seen and make other people feel good. And I promise you that when you take the focus off of yourself and you make the focus about other people and how to give to them and make them happy, in turn, you will be a lot happier. And that judgment and that pressure will lift from you. And this has also really helped me with social anxiety. So if that is something that you experience, try to do that. Try to focus on other people completely when you're in a social situation and very little about yourself and how other people are going to feel and think about you. Step 4. Nobody's opinion is greater than your own. I love this step because it really brings me back to myself in terms of my self-worth, and I feel like I can forget that from time to time because many times we come across people in life that we admire and we look up to them, whether it's because we respect them or we aspire to accomplish something that they have accomplished in life. And so we can believe that if they see us in a certain way, that we're more worthy of the respect that they have, and perhaps we're more worthy of receiving whatever it is that they've achieved in life. And so it can get tricky. At least for me, I've experienced that. I had to realize, and I still have to remind myself this, that the strongest form of validation is always going to come from within. And even if we receive validation from the people that we respect and the people that we admire, it's never going to outweigh how we feel about ourselves. An example of this is if we have a boss that we look up to because they've achieved so much and we want to be like them in a few years. They can compliment us and they can tell us amazing things about ourselves when we perform well. But if we don't believe this within ourselves, it's going to be very hard for us to feel confident when we're on our own in the future because external validation never lasts. And so when you do receive praise from other people, you're allowed to take it as a suggestion, but ultimately you are the decider and you decide whether you accept what people are saying as truth or fiction. Many times in life, we'll receive external validation from people and life will happen, and that person is no longer in our life, validating us. And it can be a big shock to us because we didn't really build that internal strength within ourselves. But we can always start from any age, at any time, in any area of life. It's never too late to build your own self esteem, and it's never late to start validating yourself. The tip for this step is saying affirmations, and not just random ones that you find on the internet. I want you to really create mantras for yourself that are specifically tailored to the things you're insecure about. If you are seeking to feel more confident within yourself and you don't want to rely on external validation, then you will have to either search for a mantra that focuses on internal validation, or you can create one on your own. And it can be along the lines of, I am confident in who I am, and the opinions of others have no power over me. If you say that twice a day, every single day, for 2 weeks even, you will notice a shift in your mindset. You will notice that, yes, part of you is leaning towards caring what others think, but now you also have this other part of you that's getting stronger, that believes that they're confident in who they are. And that's basically what affirmations do and mantras do. It creates a new belief system within you that eventually, if you are consistent enough, will become even stronger than the belief systems that you no longer want to have. Obviously, we want to work on getting to the root of those negative belief systems, but at the same time, by incorporating mantras and incorporating affirmations, we can accelerate the process all in one. I hope that this episode gave you some guidance on how to care less what others think of you, and also realize that it's really not about other people and it's always about us. We don't really need to care what other people are thinking of us at all. We just need to worry about how we think of ourselves. And once we get to a place where we love how we think about ourselves and we're proud of how we think of ourselves, other people's thoughts and opinions will not affect us. Thank you for taking time to listen to this episode. I hope you have an amazing week. I love you all. Until next time, bye for now.